What would you do if I broke in your house? Killed all your spiders and loosened the lids on your pickle jars?
I would assume that the gods answered my prayers for a willing sacrifice.
Hi guys. So a while back, some creators started what was called the Disability Path Challenge, and it was a hashtag. And Starlight Spellsinger, she's now currently the Wild Witch, and a lady, the fiction lady, although she's changed her channel name several times, and I can't keep. I don't. I'll go and I'll try to find it. Um, but they started a hashtag for disabled pagans, which is that that particular group, and they did a hashtag, and I started the hashtag, and my camera went out, and the first part of the never got filmed, and I kept meaning to go back, and then my camera broke and life happened and I totally spaced it. But since I have new subscribers, and I'll put all the links in the description, but since I have new subscribers, because it's been 3-4 years since I did the video, and I know I've gotten new people since then, I thought that I would finish the hashtag, and maybe because we have all new people, maybe the hashtag would, start to um, emerge again, so to speak. So, but before I start in on this, I want to say we have two new. Actually, I have to thank Disabled Barbie, and here's her information. Because she didn't realize that I was partially blind also, and she was asking me questions, and I thought, what better way? And then also we have CB, and I'll put their stuff in here, the pictures or whatever of their channel names, so that people can show them some love and welcome them into the community more. So we're going to do this the same way we did last time with my bottom glasses, whatever, that I can see into the future with. And I'm going to read stuff up on the monitor. So if you see me dip out, it's because I'm getting, that close. Which is why when I'm on lives, I sit with my phone, because you don't want that throughout an entire live, right? So, anyway, let's get the hashtag restarted. So, question number 1, what is your disability, illness, or condition? Are there any misconceptions regarding your disability you would like to others to know? Feel free to elaborate if you feel comfortable. Okay. So, hi. I go by Lady Blind Wolf, although I prefer, you need to call me something, you can call me April, although some here do call me by my government name, and that's kind of my fault, because I should have let them know, because, we can't put our government names out here in our community in this day and age, so I try to avoid that, but, a lot of us are familiar with each other, but anyway. So, let's see. What condition should I start with? Okay, so first of all, I am 53, or almost 53. I'll be 53 in June. Yay. And I have some physical disabilities with my legs. I just found out about that not too long ago when I left what I like to call Hickville Hell. And I have PTSD, seasonal affective disorder. I also have issues with arthritis. I am a bit hearing impaired now with old age, and I had a lot of ear issues when I was a kid. So, and I am partially blind. I have a condition known as optic nerve hypoplasia, which means that my optic nerves are underdeveloped. Now, my parents were told by the doctors, I was also told by a doctor, that the cause of my eye issue was because my father, who was a veteran and was in Vietnam, who had been exposed to Agent Orange, and that's what most likely caused my eye issue. They told my parents that I would be mentally handicapped, because when you see things and that with your brain, your eye sees something and that whole thing with your brain is delayed, and sometimes some of us have issues with that, and optic nerve hypoplasia, it comes in varying degrees. Some people I know have no sight at all due to the disorder, and some can drive a car. Me, no. Because I don't want to go into specifics of what I can see and what I can't for safety reasons, because, it's the internet. So, I can ride a bike, I can roller skate, I can ride a horse. So there's that. I can do a lot of things. Some not so great, but anyway, let me move this back a little bit. Okay, so that's question number 1. Question number 2, what's challenge? Okay, so yes, the misconceptions about blindness. That when you're totally blind or partially blind, that you ought to, I had an accident as a kid and no teeth. And I got to get new ones. So, anyway, misconceptions about being blind. That we fake our blindness. I've had that happen more than once because people don't comprehend or understand. And I am lax about going, if I'm running like right down the road or something, I won't take my cane. Usually I try to, just so that people know that I don't see, but given the current that we're dealing with, I'm not too comfortable being out with my cane anymore. But that's just me. But anyway, like I was saying, because when you are blind, that your other senses are stronger, that's a misconception. You've just learned to utilize your other senses. That's one thing. That we're all automatically musically gifted. I was in choir, I was in band, and I that doesn't, no. We can play sports. I'm trying to get this blind school video done and edited. I got to get my camera out, and you guys will see with that at some point. I went there before they closed it down, and I've got to get the camera out and stuff and get the videos done. So I'm going to get to that. And the hearing impaired thing, I have trichinosis and tinnitus, because I had a lot of ear infections and stuff when I was a kid, because I had an underdeveloped stomach muscle, so that I was a sickly kid. So my mom reminds me. But so, and I do have hearing issues, especially now that I've gotten older. So I'm constantly hearing stuff in my ears, and it's 2 different tones, and it's really freaking annoying, especially when it's totally quiet out. But okay, I digress. So there's so many misconceptions about blindness that it would take me forever, or partial blindness, and they don't understand. I say blind because it's a whole thing, and then you can get their attention and then explain. I'm good about the blind jokes though. Short jokes I find offensive, but blind jokes, I have a few. One thing I don't have a tolerance for or is ableism. So, gotta learn that real quick. So, question number 2. What challenges or limitations do you have within your path practice that relate to your disability? Okay. Oh, by the way, I was, because this was a question that Barbie had asked me. I was born with my issues, although I do know some kids that didn't lose their sight till much later due to various things, genetic stuff. I do know some kids that went to school with that lost their sight due to, when I take those off and put them back on, that messes with my eyes. I do know some kids, though, that had accidents and wound up going to school with me. They did put me in a school for kids with mental handicaps. They said nope. So I ended up attending the blind school till 9th grade. And then, fortunately for me, and I'm being extremely sarcastic, I had to go to public school and I hated it. But okay, so question number, about the challenges. So, because I'm going to say this much. I have no peripheral vision and no sight in this eye. So my depth perception is all messed up. So I have to go by the feel of a pendulum when I'm using it. Tarot is difficult sometimes because of those stupid little white books. And the fonts on the cards or the gilding on the cards, the print. So print on tarot is a bit of a challenge. So that's kind of why I do more intuitive type of reading. Those stupid little white books and the pip decks are an issue. So if you see my glasses and how close I have to get to read things, that's another limitation, and it's annoying as all get out. And sometimes when people are filming things, and I don't expect people to accommodate me personally, but the camera's too far away, and I kind of struggle with that at times. So when people are doing walkthroughs and stuff, I don't always. So that's something that is a bit of a problem. Balance can be a problem at times now because of my ears. So that and then the whole PTSD and the anxiety, I'm not even going to go into that. I'm not even going to go into that just because I'm not comfortable. Okay, wait a second. Okay. 3. What strengths do you feel your disability leads to your path? Practice. Path practice? What the heck? I'm trying to find number 3 here. And I'm kind of struggling. Because let's see. Hold on, guys. I am so sorry. Okay, here we go. Number 3. What strengths do you feel your disability leads to your path? Practice. Has your disability positively affected or benefited you in any way in your path or practice? Oh boy. I've been told that I'm clairaudient, even though I am hearing impaired, and I'll see things that other people, or hear things that other people don't hear. Tales Told After Dark was a lady that informed me about that. I do sense vibrations sometimes because this stuff comes and goes because, it's like a muscle and I haven't been implementing my muscle the way I ought to. So I'm trying to remember to keep in focus of the camera. So that's another situation that I deal with. And I still sometimes do because I have polyps in my nose that I can't get removed. So that's kind of affected my sense of smell. But sometimes I'll smell things that other people don't smell. Sometimes. I don't know if it's because I haven't been practicing or because of the polyps. I don't know which that would be. Sometimes, like, because of the PTSD, the rumination, and like my long-term memory and things really stick. And because, Miss Kulala was talking about the neurodivergence and pattern recognition, and I'm constantly like finding patterns to things and going down rabbit holes and finding connections to things. Don't know if I'm neurodivergent, but I'm starting to think maybe that's also a possibility. I'm not sure. But okay, so number 4, do you feel that the pagan witch other communities are inclusive towards individuals? Let me see if I can find number 4. Well, hold on. Okay. Towards individuals, with disabilities, have you experienced any form of discrimination, gatekeeping within the community, in person or online? Oh, okay. So yes, it was. I have experienced that. It was on another platform, and the lady was an extreme gatekeeper and was getting on me about pendulums, and I tried to explain to her that when you put the pendulum in the jar, I can't. So, not taking into account, even though she knew that I had side issues. So, that's one example. Of course, you get a lot of the disabled witches shouldn't practice. I've had that happen here. Here and on the other platform. So I have experienced that. The circle of people that I align myself with are very inclusive. Although I've kind of been told that people have said some things outside of my circle. So I've always said that the ableism exists within the community as well as other isms and phobias, but it's no different than any other spiritual path religion. You're going to have them. You can't get away from it. Although this community is a bit more tolerant and inclusive, a lot more so than the others. That's just my opinion, but yes, that's something that I've dealt with and I've experienced. And of course, we don't talk about mental health and mental disabilities on this platform enough. I believe Jasmine Ambrosia had brought that up before. And another thing that I find very problematic is going at people who have issues now that they've experienced spiritual abuse and religious trauma. I've seen that happen here. That's a whole... I've done videos on that. So, and all of that type of thing. I mean, I do have to agree with Jasmine, though. We don't talk about mental health enough. And then, of course, people that have mental health issues with the medication shaming that goes on, especially when people go from one spiritual path in religion to another spiritual path in religion as you medication shame. So, yeah, that happens here. Question number 5. Are your accommodations met in and out of sacred spaces? I'm a solitary practitioner, so I make my own accommodations. It's very rare that I go with other like-minded people. With the state that I live in and lacking transportation, because, I can't drive. I could, but it wouldn't be pretty. So I like I said, I am pretty much a solitary practitioner. And so I figured out a long time ago how to meet my own accommodations. And I can't exactly get out, especially now when our bus passes went from 28 to $50. So bus passes are kind of out of my budget. And prices are probably going to go up now. So I, have to pretty much walk everywhere, and I kind of can't do that because of my legs. Because one leg is way longer than the other, and that's all these years of walking and living in a small town where there was no transportation. It just made it way worse. So I'll be laying here at night crying. I was a CNA, and it got so bad that I would get 2 hours of sleep, and I would just lay there and cry because the muscles in my legs are so messed up because of this, and the arthritis too, because I have really bad arthritis. So, question number, it says A. Oh, if you are a solitary practitioner, what tools, technology, methods, resources do you utilize to self-accommodate? Okay, so if you're partially blind or totally blind, you already know about the reader that reads things on the computer. I can't use that, especially when I'm on a live with somebody, because you're hearing that robotic and you're trying to communicate with the person that you're live with. And when the chat is going super fast, it sounds like gibberish to me. That's just me. As I get too overwhelmed, and over the sensory stuff is just too much for me. Of course, I have these. I do listen a lot. I do a lot more like audio stuff. I do have means on this phone to kind of blow my print up and make it a bit larger. So I can do that. So large print stuff, sometimes I can get it, sometimes I can't. But I'm more like listening to stuff and taking notes. And with my arthritis, I can only write things for so long before my hand goes. So I do have those issues. I did have a talking book, but you can't get like pagan talking books. So I'm kind of more reliant on like YouTube and stuff so I can hear things. Sometimes you'll get a decent audio book, but I can read because I got these. So although being able to sit down and read a book, especially with that jerk back here. So insomnia, I think, is a thing. I apologize, but it's late. It's late, and this is what I look like late at night, so, or early in the morning, whatever you want to call it. So like yesterday, I think I fell asleep about 12, and I got up at 6 this evening. And I gotta fix that. I've got to get on a better sleep schedule. So the depression and stuff. I'm needing to get back to the winter, especially the winter stuff, because you have the depression, and then the PTSD, and then the seasonal affective disorder on top of that. So winters are so. Anyway, and I will crap. Let me go back. Let me see. I'm trying to find question 6 because that's where. Yeah, here we go. I could take screenshots, better screenshots, and put them back in order and post them on my community tab. But the lady that their videos are gone, and I can't figure out why. But the lady that, another lady, and I posted her video on my community tab. She did the hashtag also, and I was able to get it from her video. So I don't know what happened with that, but anyway, do you experience vulnerabilities within your practice? If so, what are they, and how do you overcome them? Vulnerabilities. Oh, well, sometimes I just walk away from something and come back to it, like now. Oh, that's the only thing I can do. Is just I walk away from it, and then I'll try to come back to it later. Sometimes it gets done, sometimes it doesn't. That's the only thing I know to say on that. Vulnerabilities. Let me look at this again. Do I experience vulnerabilities within your practice? If so, what are they, and how do you overcome the depression? Though, too, I get overwhelmed a lot, and so you'll see spurts where I won't put up videos for a couple of months because just doing videos is, and then I'll get a burr up my butt, and then I'll start putting out a lot more videos. So anyway, so that's 1 through 6, and then I'll link the rest of the. I may have done 6, but I will put part 2 or in the description, as well as I already have the other videos. But Disability Barbie, I hope that answers your questions. If I missed one, let me know. But maybe you could do the hashtag also. I don't know why the videos got taken down, but now that we have more people coming in, especially to this platform with all the instability on other platforms, maybe we can get this hashtag going again. So, peace, love, and light, guys.